Okay guys, welcome to this week's Fife Property Market Update live from Spain. I'm sitting in Spain just now, so I'm not in the studio today, and I'm giving you this update. Okay, so this is all the properties throughout Fife. The number of properties actually sold in Fife versus the number of properties actually come on in the same week. Again, as I said before, it gives us a strong indication about where the property market is. If there's an undersupply, if there's an oversupply, and what does that mean to a buyer and a seller? What does that mean to a landlord and a tenant as well, actually? Because it's quite important we actually ask these questions. So this is the week commencing the 11th of September to yesterday, which was the 17th of September. And it's a roundup of the whole property market. I'm going to be talking about a couple of articles as well. I'm also going to be talking about the Wealth Creation Show. Now, just a heads up about the Wealth Creation Show. Because of the Queen's funeral tomorrow, we will have the Wealth Creation Show on Tuesday morning now at 9 o'clock first thing. It's something to start your day for the best day ever. Because I'm going to be talking about some things, and I will talk about in a minute. We'll also talk about the number of properties actually coming onto the market this week. We've got 6 new properties actually to talk about and where they are. We've also got properties that have actually over the line and sold this week as well. So it gives you a strong indication about where you are in terms of the actual value for the type of property you've got if one of these properties are actually similar to the one that we've sold just now. And actually keys handed over and as well, and actually we'll show you how much we got more for certain types of property in areas, and so it'll give you a good indication about where the market is in terms of the offers over value that you should be presenting. Also, if you're a seller out there, it'll give you a really good indication about what your expectations should be. Okay, so let's kick off here and talk about the property market last week. Here we are here. Now, the reason I talk about these numbers in the Cooper area, 12 properties actually came to market and 7 properties actually sold. So it tells us straight away in the Cooper area itself, that's KY14, KY15, if that's your postcode, it gives us a good indication in Cooper area that there is a wee bit of an oversupply in that area because there's 12 come on, there's only 7 sold, so there's 5 left. That'll roll into next week, and then if the same thing happens again, that'll then compound to the next week, and if the same thing happens again, that'll compound to the next week. So it gives you a real good indication about where we are right now, and I'll talk about the overall numbers just towards the end here. East Neuk, 6 came on, 7 actually sold, so East Neuk's slowing. East Neuk's getting better in terms of the number of supply. It's shortage of supply, which means price point is maintained for sellers out there. The St Andrews area, 16 came on, 10 sold. Levenmouth, 5 came on, 9 sold. Dunfermline, 76 versus 58. Dunfermline and Kirkcaldy's 42 versus 32. Now, these two markets have got a lot of new builds in them now. You see them getting built all the time when you're driving through there. This isn't the new build value. The new build sold in here because they don't register them on Rightmove. They just keep these numbers to themselves, so I don't get access to that information. So I would suggest that a lot of people are actually selling up their resale homes, that's what they call them, to buy new build homes in these areas, and that's why these numbers show a lot of properties coming into market and less actually sold. Glenorchy is 15 versus 17. Glenorchy is still a really good market. So is Levenmouth, especially with the impending in 2024 the new train station coming in as well. Let's talk about a couple of articles. First one was buy to let and working from home, how to tap into the trend to boost your rental properties income. Now, this was a show Richard and I did yesterday with regards to helping investors and landlords identify areas where they can actually improve and give more service to a tenant in order to maintain their occupancy, a high occupancy rate, to allow to have a better return on their investment, and also give the tenants more than what they would expect for a property. After all, at the end of the day, you're competing also against other landlords with other similar types of properties. So if you offer just that wee bit more or that wee edge or a better service, then more than likely you'll be the person that will get chosen if they've got a choice between 1 or 2 properties to actually choose from when you have a tenant. So it was a really good show that. So tune into that. You could watch the podcast, you could listen to the podcast, sorry, or you can watch the show online. Just click on the link in this post. The other one as well, which was actually quite startling, was Fife OAPs are actually getting jobs and downsizing properties to beat the cost of living crisis. Did you realise there was such a term as an unretirement. So people are actually coming out of retirement to unretire, and it's purely for the fact that the cost of living crisis. We actually discussed that on that midweek show that we did. So the information's there as well if you want to tune into that and find out more. I did the update during the week as well about the UK house price index in Scotland particularly, and how it affected Fife. And that was on the July figures that the UK house prices were released last week. So that post is on there as well for you to watch the show or listen to the podcast. Very, very revealing, as well as Zoopla quarter three report on top of that. Let's talk about what was being sold and over the line. Actually, quickly, I'll just mention this. See the 172 down here is the total at the bottom here, and then 140 sold. Again, it shows there's an oversupply coming into the market. Now, this seems to be a trend that's happening mostly all the time. Let me just show you Zoopla's numbers to show you how many properties are actually on the market throughout with Zoopla, and I'll share that with you right now. I'm just going to stop this share and do another share for you. This will give you a strong indication about where we are in terms of the Fife property market. Now, see that number there? That is all 777, all the sevens. 777 properties are available to buy for every buyer out there. So every seller's waiting to sell 777 properties. Every buyer is looking at these properties and they have a bit more choice than before. So maybe 3 or 4 months ago, it was down at 550. Now it's actually up more than 41% on that 3 or 4 months ago. So there's 41% more supply in the market for Fife properties for buyers to actually buy on. This means as a seller, you might have to wait a wee bit longer in order to get your house sold, because on average now, houses aren't selling on average in 4 weeks, they're now selling on average in 6 to 7 weeks. So it's almost double the amount of time it's taken to sell a property. So for people that have actually been, I've been out to people before, maybe 3 or 4 months back, and I said, market's really buoyant, it's going really well, we're going to get, we're going to get a good result. You'll probably more than likely get a reasonably quick sale. That's not going to happen anymore because of these numbers, because of the fact that you're now competing against a lot of other properties coming on, 41% more properties than there was 3 or 4 months ago. So when you have that information from all that time ago, if your estate agents talk to you that time and you go, right, we're now ready to go, it's all about managing your expectations, making sure you understand now there's more supply in the market. Therefore, you will take a wee bit longer to sell. You will possibly get less buyers looking at your property, and you'll possibly get a less of a price than you expected maybe 3 or 4 months ago. That gives buyers a strong indication as well that the prices over the home report are actually starting to recede a wee bit. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a good insight into where the market is right now, right throughout Fife. Let's jump back to our existing numbers. I'll stop sharing that and I'll share the previous screen and tell you the ones that are over the line. So this is our numbers again. So we've covered that already. Let me talk about the stuff that's actually sold. This is actually quite a good indication as well. Now, see this 140, by the way. See the 140 there? It is always about 120 to 140, and it's been like that since the start of the year. The demand is still there. It hasn't receded. The issue here is the oversupply right now in the market as it compared to what it was last year. If you look at the UK statistics that I did during the week, the UK one, it actually showed 550 properties sold last year in July, the month of July. But this year, 575 properties sold in July. So it shows you the demand's still all there. It's just the fact that we've got an oversupply, so there's more for buyers to actually choose from. And so hopefully that's covered that subject about supply and demand, and expectations and what price point you should be expecting as well. But you know yourself, for the one-off homes that people just love, and they just think, I've got to have that as my ultimate family home, and it's a dream home to them, they will pay a bit of a premium for it because they really want that property. So you have to make sure your property is going to be one of these dream properties. Now, we've done loads of shows before in our helpful guides on YouTube. So if you go to our helpful guides on our YouTube channel, you will see loads of shows and content before, and advice and information about how to set your property with a wow factor. So basically, when somebody walks in, the buyer walks in the door, they really want to buy your property and they're prepared to pay an exceptional price to get it. So all these shows are on that playlist, the helpful guides that we've got on our YouTube channel. We keep all that content. I think there's over 170 actual shows and content and articles on various different subjects, from decluttering to maybe putting an extension up in your attic rather than moving, all advice that you deem necessary to want in terms of the property market. Let's talk about what got over the line this week. 28C Main Street in Upper Largo has been sold in 3 weeks. This is a 3-bedroom semi-detached house. Now, this was listed at offers over 150,000 and it is now away within 3 weeks. If you've got a property similar to this, that's the price point. Over that, they're going for at this point in time. Kinghorn, High Street Kinghorn sold, 1-bedroom ground floor apartment. That was sold. New owner was thrilled with the property, and it was offers over 75,000. So 1-bedroom ground floor apartments at Kinghorn like this, down here, as you can see, they're selling for 75,000, offers over. Heather Path in Glenrothes is sold in 2 weeks. This was a 3-bedroom end terraced house. This was on offers over £95,000. One other person missed out on this, so clearly, possibly, it might have been more it was got for this property itself. Now, that gives you a strong indication then in that area, the Heather Path area of Glenrothes, that these properties, 3-bedroom end terrace houses, are going for 95,000 and above, possibly even the 100,000 mark, the 6-figure mark. Okay, the next one over the line was Stratheden Park in Cooper. That sold in 1 week. That was a 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, a semi-detached house, sorry, it's not a bungalow, semi-detached house, and that was on offers over 230,000. So that's away as well. So if you have a similar property to this in the Cooper area, please feel free to contact us. You could get that offer. Possibly you can't refuse, and that will allow you to make better choices later on for where you want to go as well. Dead Wind in Glenrothes, that was sold in 3 weeks. Sorry, that was Dead Wind in Kennoway. I've got a typo on my script here. Dead Wind in Kennoway sold in 3 weeks, a 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, and this was offers over 250,000 and it's now sold. Haston Park in Balmullo sold in 1 week, a 3-bedroom detached bungalow, and the owner was thrilled with their new property, the next owner, and their forever home. This was on offers over 180,000. One other person missed out on this property as well. Okay, 4 Fisherman's Court, that's away in Cellardyke. That was a 3-bedroom end terrace house. That was offers over £285,000. That is now away. So that's what these types of properties, the Fisherman's Court and Cellardyke, 3-bedroom end terrace houses, are selling for offers over 285,000. And Shore Street in Anstruther, above the chemists and the Shore Street, 2-bedroom upper apartment. It is over 2 levels, though. You can see there, and up here there's a bedroom up here as well, and there's an attic room across here, which, to be honest, can be used as another room. And that is away as well. One other person missed out on this. Offers over 260,000. That is now away. One other person missed out. So if you've got a similar type of property in that area, Shore Street area of Anstruther, we want to hear from you. You know, because basically you're getting offers over 260,000 at this point in time. Okay, let's talk about what's coming to market. So what's coming to market this week, or in the near future? Some of these ones I've got to pop out to when I come back home. So I'm back home towards the end of the month. So I'll be popping out to put these and do pre-portals on them. But Jimmy as well and Perry as well is there, and they will be doing pre-portal launches on these as well. Some have actually been done a pre-portal launch just last week. Flaxmill Lane in Milton Balgony, 3-bedroom detached bungalow, will be coming on. High Street Methil, a 6-bedroom detached house, will be coming on. King David Street in St Monans, a 1-bedroom upper apartment, is coming on. Balgavie Road, Bonnybank in Kennoway, Balgary Road, Bonnybank in Kennoway. That's a 2-bedroom semi-detached cottage, will be coming on as well. Backdykes, Kilrenny, I've seen that house already. I tell you what, it is amazing inside. What a size of house. A 6-bedroom detached house in the Kilrenny area. And Shore Street in Cellardyke, that will be coming on. That's a 3-bedroom apartment, and I believe Jimmy just did that pre-portal on Friday. So that is a cracking property, and that'll be ready to go as well. Let's talk about concluded over the line. So concluded is keys handed over. In other words, we can now tell you what these properties went for because it's now record and it's now concluded. So Ardan and Leven, a 3-bedroom end terraced house, it was sold off market, never even got anywhere else, never even got to websites, and it was sold for £130,000. New owner was delighted with their home. So 3-bedroom end terraced houses in the Broome area of Leven, Ardan area of Leven, they're selling for £130,000. If yours is exceptional, make it a wee bit more. Langside Drive in Kennoway, a 3-bedroom end terraced house that was sold in 6 weeks, and that was £95,000 that went for. Wellshot Crescent, in Kennoway, because there's 2 different places in Kennoway, Wellshot Road and Wellshot Crescent. Wellshot Crescent in Kennoway, 3-bedroom semi-detached house. That sold in 2 weeks over the home report value for £137,500. So that was a 3-bedroom semi-detached house in the Wellshot Crescent area of Kennoway. And finally, the Glebe in Crail. This was one that I listed a wee while ago. A 2-bedroom detached bungalow had potential to basically upstairs. You would be able to convert upstairs easily and have a bathroom and 2 bedrooms up there. That actually sold in 2 months for 16% over the home report value, which represented £40,000 extra. Went for £290,000. So the next one, possibly, can we hit the 300,000 barrier? You never know. 3 other people missed out on this property. So if you've got a property in the Crail area and you're looking for, it's similar as a 2-bedroom detached bungalow, but it has potential to go upstairs and is on a big, wonderful plot and it's got a garage to the side, then we want to hear from you. If you think potentially the 250 to 300,000 is a figure you would like to have, definitely we need to speak to you, and you need to speak to us as well. And that's it, guys. That is the ones over the line. That is the ones coming on. Quickly, I'm going to just end off about our wealth creation show on Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, we're going to be talking about wealth management. Remember, wealth management is a big, big thing. And you might not think wealth management applies to you, but it's also about, let me tell you what the 10 points we're going to be discussing about wealth management. The first one is about educating yourself about money. Now, this is all based on my previous experience, where I've come from as well in the last 30 years. How I've invested as well and how I've created wealth as well. This is what it's all based on. So this is us passing on, myself and Richard Cook. We're having a chat about it and we're telling people what I know already and what I've done already. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. This is all laid out before you. And we tell you exactly what I've done before. All the mistakes I've made have now been filtered out because I've made all the mistakes. You don't make them all. All you need to do is plug yourself into that system, use the information, and potentially you could be in a similar position where you've created wealth for yourself and your family and your future generations. So the first one is all about educating yourself about money. The next one is getting a regular income source, and we're going to be talking about that as well. The third one is key for everybody, is creating a budget and why you need to do that, especially with the cost of living crisis. This is key that everybody needs to know about this. So if you get a chance, tag somebody in or share somebody this post or tell them about the Wealth Creation Show on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock and let them tune into it and they could hear everything there is to know about how to create a proper budget. This is stuff that we're never taught in school. This is stuff that we're just, there you go, you're created just for a job for someone else and that's it. You know exactly what you need to do. We're not financially educated at school. We're not taught about what to do with budgets and stuff like that. So this is what we are teaching on these shows and telling people based on previous information. And, again, I say you don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's done already for you. And all you need to do is plug yourself into this. The fourth one is having enough insurance, but not to over-insure. There's lots of different ways to do that. That's not just insurance policies. This is all about risk analysis and de-risking a situation and how to do that. The fifth one, practice extreme savings from your income. Wow, you want to believe it. See this fifth one here, how you could compound wealth over a period of time, and it will blow your mind where this could be. I'll give you a quick example of this. I can give you 5 million in your hand right now, or I can give you £1 doubled up for the next 31 days. Now, most people would say, I'll have the 5 million now, because that's a big figure. But £1 doubled up for the next 31 days comes to million. Delayed gratification, farmer mentality, compounding wealth. That's what we're going to be talking about practice extreme savings for your income. Building an emergency fund, that's number 6. Improving your skill set is number 7. Exploring passive income ideas. Now, just ideas, exploring passive income ideas. How many people know about exploring passive income ideas? Probably not that many. It's important, that's what I mean. So that's why you plug yourself into this. Okay. Embrace passive investing as well. Really important. Now, this, for anybody out there, if somebody said to me, embrace passive investing, snooze fest, isn't it? It sounds boring, but I tell you what, boring pays well. But it's really good. It's a fantastic subject. We're going to be covering that as well, about embracing passive income and how passive income is basically the income that you generate does not rely on you anymore. It doesn't rely on your ability to perform. So you're no longer trading time for money there. That's what passive income is. A classic example of that is a writer. When they write a book, they put all the effort in the beginning, they write the book, they produce the book, everybody goes and buys it, and everybody keeps buying it, and everybody keeps buying it, and they keep earning royalties out of it every single time. They earn a small income out of it every single time, and that is a perfect example of what passive income is. When somebody writes a song or sings a song and they've got a royalty from it as well, that's passive income. And the final one we want to talk about as well is this is quite intriguing. Is use a robo advisor. New technology allows you to do this. Robo advisors. Some people will be straight onto Google looking at robo advisors, but we'll be talking about that as well. So that is our wealth creation show on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock between myself and Richard. We're going to be talking about wealth management. It does apply to everyone watching, everyone listening, and everyone in this whole world, because it's all about combating yourself and battening down for the cost of living crisis and impending recession. We've been told is on its way. Well, they were like, apparently everybody talks about it as if it's now, but we've been told it's on its way, and more than likely, in economic terms, if something's on its way, you really can't stop it anyway. It's like almost like the economy is almost like a ship. It leaves the dock, it builds momentum over time, and keeps going and it builds up speed, and that's how the economy works. But then all of a sudden, if anything changes in the economy and you have to adjust it, you have to change position or steer a different way, it takes so long to change it. This is what interest rates is all about. Interest rate rises. This is what putting up taxation or bringing down taxation is all about. But more than likely, in economic terms, once that happens, you're too late. Because what's happened has happened already, and by the time you realize it's happened, because that's how they do the statistical analysis, it's usually about 2 or 3 months later that they find out, yeah, it happened 3 months ago. You're too late by that time. So this is why it's all about learning about it now, and the key is preparation, and the point of readiness is when opportunity and preparation meet, and that's what you need to plan for. Okay, so that's it, guys. Usual thing is on here is the instant valuation tool. Feel free to use that if you want. 30 seconds instant valuation tool of your property. It gives you a rental assessment. It also gives you a final valuation assessment in 3 different levels: top, middle, and bottom. In other words, mint condition, move in, do it as you go, and you better get it done before you move in. That's the 3 valuation sections. And that's it, guys. Until not tomorrow, Queen's funeral, Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock. See you then. Bye-bye now.